Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. Here we are, guys, at the final episode of the Batman ever, of course, Season 5, Episode 13, Lost Heroes, Part 2. I can't believe it. I can't believe that we're here. At the end of another show, it's been a crazy journey, and I really do appreciate all of you guys for supporting the videos and being here and supporting this journey because, honestly, a few years ago, I would have never thought of reacting to this show or checking it out, maybe at some point, but I was just in a mindset of if it's not Kevin Conroy's Batman, I'm not interested in any other animated, adventures or shows with another Batman. And now I've grown to love and appreciate this show and this particular Batman and all the characters, all the villains, all the other heroes, and then the Justice League popping up, of course, towards the end of this series' run, and just loving what they've done in terms of how over the top it is at times and how it pays homage to the classic Kevin Conroy Batman the Animated Series from the 90s and how it stands on its own and does its own things as well. I really appreciate that. I really do. Of course, part 1 of Lost Heroes was pretty crazy in terms of the Justice League. They're all being pretty much captured, the ones who have superpowers. Hugo Strange is teaming up and working with the Joining, which I did not see that coming at all, but that's quite a reveal. And they basically created robotic versions of the powered heroes, and the powered heroes do not have their powers anymore. It's crazy. It's not like a typical thing to where, oh, there's a robot version of yourself, you gotta fight it, with having your abilities, but you have your abilities, so it's who's better at using the abilities, the hero or the robot version of that person or whatever. In this instance, no, these are robot versions of the heroes, and the heroes don't have their powers to even fight it. So it's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm excited to see how they wrap this all up. And yeah, crazy start in terms of this two-parter to wrap up the show. I'm going to miss the show dearly, I really am, but I'm going to definitely talk more about my overall thoughts about the show in the review portion. So let's dive in, guys. Lost Heroes, Part 2, the final episode of the Batman. Let's go.
Well, any ideas, guys?
Let's start with this. They're still learning.
Oh, they're still learning.
Still faster than Hawkman.
Nope.
Hey!
Still learning. Trick arrow. Love the trick arrows.
You know how to fly this?
Wayne Tech has 5 of these from the invasion.
Oh, shit.
Can't they trace this vehicle?
I've shut off all tracking devices.
Oh, that's
My
good.
android can still find us by reading our minds.
My cowl's lined with electronics. The only thing he'll read is static.
Oh, the other kind of Batcave, kinda. Is it Lucius?
Batgirl, hold your fire.
Where I ask, have I
I'm
missed
so happy
anything?
she's here. I'm so happy.
Even without their powers, the Justice League proved problematic.
That's
Especially
true.
the one called Batman, by giving me the knowledge of the universe.
Whoa. You wanted knowledge.
Magnificent.
It's gonna be too much. Maybe.
A kryptonite ray.
You've prepared weapons to use against us.
Only as a precaution.
Oh, shit.
Blame it on me.
Ooh.
Because I don't think there's going to be any time for target practice.
They've already covered half the city looking for us.
Gotta keep looking and destroying shit.
Anywhere in Gotham. We'll distract them while you attack. You'll only get one shot, so make it count. Looking for someone?
Yes. Ooh. Nice. Ooh. Let go of the car. Ooh. Nice. Watch out for the car. Get their attention at least. Follow Robin Hood. Oh, nice.
Superman, we found
Yeah.
someone a bit like you to
Yeah, we found somebody. Kryptonite, yep. Ooh. Yep. Oh, shit.
They're stronger than we think.
Using his cape. Oh, shit. Yep. Batgirl saving Superman. I love it. Is that really gonna do anything? I don't know. Ooh.
What? I think the chest is a weak spot. It breaks through to their energy source. Bats! Give me a hand.
It worked.
And I'm back, Jack.
Sorry, pal.
Oh shit. Ooh. Yep. In the chest. You think it'd be like something more, I don't know, harder to get to? I don't know. Blocking his chest. Ooh. Okay. Go.
Time to return what you borrowed.
Exactly. I like that.
Now we finish this.
So is the final boss that thing that came through the portal?
Absorbing all that knowledge has overloaded his cerebral cortex. Super droids were just the advanced force. The real invasion is about to begin.
Again? Another invasion?
I'm patching into the League satellite to monitor the fight.
Gigantic ship. Holy shit.
Think they've spotted us yet?
My god.
Kryptonite and
I
yellow.
didn't expect this gigantic freaking ship.
There's too many. They're getting past.
Yeah, how are they...
Hey,
I don't know what they're gonna
where'd
do.
Hawkman go? Come on.
Nice. Oh shit.
Strange was communicating with it joining through this system. It has to
Yeah.
connect with the mothership. If we had the right code, we could shut down the invasion from here.
Oh shit. Yep.
I need you to set up the signal. Now.
Me?
Me?
But I'm still trying to figure out the remote on my TV.
You didn't know what you were up against. You didn't know. Oh. That's what that was.
How come I know how to do this?
I'm in your mind relaying the
Oh,
instructions from Strange.
okay.
Whoa.
Multiple powers. That's crazy. Ooh. This ain't good. It's not good. Exactly. It's not over. Oh. Come on.
Typing teacher should see me now.
Oh. You have been defeated. I still can't believe how giant that ship is. A lot of stuff going into the harbor. Sitting into the sun. You're watching it.
No sign of any other ships in our star system.
Oh, right now. Till Darkseid shows up.
Well, Hugo Strange.
Man, we've got the coolest clubhouse.
Yeah.
We.
Yeah. Junior Justice League.
It's the end. Yeah. And that was the series finale of The Batman, the last episode of The Batman. And this was a pretty crazy episode to end the show. And I'm wondering this, I'm actually going to look into this once I'm done filming the video here. But I'm curious if it was planned to have only 5 seasons or if they just didn't get picked up for a 6th season. I'm just curious to know like what the actual, plans were in regards to this show, because they've covered a lot of ground on this show in terms of Batman villains. There are some villains that never appeared, right? Or they appeared maybe once that could appear again potentially. Of course, with the Justice League being introduced, that's the potential of more villains in the Justice League, repertoire in terms of like, hey, we saw Lex, we saw Mirror Master, we saw a variety of villains from these Justice League heroes, but we could have easily seen more if there was potentially another season. Like we could have seen more. But that's just me speculating, because who knows if there even was planned a 6th season. But I really enjoyed what they did in terms of building the foundation with Batman and then Alfred, which, by the way, Alfred wasn't in the episode, which was really unfortunate, but we got Batgirl. So happy. I'm happy she was a part of the episode in some way, because they could have easily not had her because she's hardly in the show anymore. But I'm glad that they brought her back for this, because it was like all hands on deck, basically. Okay? We needed everybody. But building the foundation with Batman and then introducing particular villains that are going to be mainstays in terms of Joker, Penguin, and then we're going to dive into some more villains that kind of appear from time to time, Poison Ivy a little bit, which I like the different origin they did for her in terms of her connection to Barbara and everything, Killer Croc, and just going through a huge amount of Batman villains, and even villains that are really not seen that often besides the comics that appeared in the show in some capacity. So that was really, really cool. And of course, their version of Harley great. For this episode in particular, I think that ending with the Justice League in terms of this two-parter and having the Joining come back and Hugo Strange be part of it, but really it's the Joining really returning, I think was interesting because the Joining was the introduction of Martian Manhunter in season 4, and then that kind of opened up the eyes of Bruce Wayne in terms of, okay, so there's stuff out here that could potentially be a threat to Earth that I can't handle personally. I can't do it by myself, or I can't do it with, Robin and Batgirl. I have to potentially have more help, and that's when Martian Manhunter, of course, is in the mix in terms of stopping the Joining and the invasion and all that. And then that's the form of the Justice League. That's what spawned it. And so ending with them in terms of a two-parter, with them being a focal point in terms of the robots and everything, it was interesting. I like the fact, too, that the second part here, wasn't just about them getting back their powers. That's kind of the conclusion of the storyline. It's the fact that was just basically a side mission, but it was a part of the main thing because they need to get their powers back, slamming their hands through the chest of the. I'm guessing if Martian Manhunter would have slammed his chest, but slammed the chest of, say, the robot for the Flash, he'd get Flash abilities. I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's how that would have worked, but they all got their powers back, and the fight scenes were pretty interesting because they had to use weapons that were made by Batman that were made to go against them in case of an emergency, which is basically, we've seen this happen before. We've seen where Bruce has contingencies for Justice League members in case they go rogue, and they have a story point to, in terms of the continuity of this show, because Superman was in control by Lex Luthor at one point. So he had a kryptonite gun made. He had a weapon that has yellow powder or some sort of substance that would stop Green Lantern, and so on and so on and so on. So they used their own weapons they would use that would Batman or somebody else would use against them if they went rogue or went bad or being controlled or whatever, and they used those weapons against the robots. Also showing the robots are getting smarter, so that's pretty interesting as well in terms of their adapting to what was happening, because at first they're slow, but they're learning. That's the whole point of, and that was kind of like reminding me of the season 3, I think it was season 3 finale, of the villain that was created by Hugo Strange. It was a computer, and essentially it took all of the villains' origins and villains' mindsets and created the ultimate grandest villain of Gotham. But then, of course, Bruce broke it down essentially by asking, what is your true origin? Like, who are you really are? And the thing couldn't process because it was like giving off different answers from different villains. It was kind of processing in its memory or whatever. So it was pretty smart to do all that. So for this, it was like the robots are learning how to use their powers to be more efficient, but ultimately they are weak compared to, the weapons that, Bruce made in case of a contingency against, saying the Flash went rogue. We'd have to find a way to stop him, blah, blah, blah. Just goes down the line for all of them. But the true story is that the Joining are reinvading. And that one entity that I guess was kind of, the face of the Joining came through, gave Hugo Strange all the knowledge like he asked for, and then he completely went brain dead, essentially, pretty much, because it was overwhelming. And then they fought that entity for a little bit. It got the powers of Flash and Green Lantern on it somehow through those devices that were connected to them when they were when their powers were being transferred to the robots. But that didn't last very, very long. But it was kind of interesting to see that because okay, that could happen. They could have potentially made robots with multiple abilities from multiple different heroes into one. They could have done that because they kind of hinted that could have possibly happened. The ending with them in the Watchtower was interesting for sure, and having Robin and Batgirl wanting to create their version of Justice League Junior or a little Justice League, like a little, startup of they're kind of like Justice League, but not really kind of like the Teen Titans or whatever. But I guess they couldn't use that word, that name. So that was kind of funny, and that was the ending. I honestly expected the ending to be back at his house, Wayne Manor, or in the Batcave with him, Robin, and Batgirl, but I guess since the storyline was really heavily evolving around the Justice League, that you went on in the Watchtower. Maybe that goes back to the whole thing about was there plans for more episodes or more seasons, I don't know. So, overall, this show has been pretty damn good in terms of its storytelling, its character growth, the villains, and reveals, and just some pretty wild moments for sure. The show didn't really hold back in regards to what it wanted to accomplish in terms of how threatening the villains can be, how much growth Bruce goes through over time in terms of him going from I want no one to be part of my crusade to okay, this girl wants to help out, I really don't know, and he's been very off-putting against her, but then he eventually lets her into the mix. Of course, we're talking about Barbara, Batgirl, and then of course Robin, and that was the whole thing to where it really deeply connects to his childhood and what happened to him, and so he takes, you know, Dick Grayson in. It was really well done in terms of the progression of the characters and how they went about developing the show and making it, you know, kid-friendly, but also it got dark at times, but it was overall fun and exciting and engaging. What I think they could have done maybe more, personally for me, I can only speak for myself, maybe you guys will agree, I personally wish we got more Alfred a little bit. We do get enough of Alfred throughout the series, but I wish we had more of him and Bruce's relationship, because they don't really dive too deep into it that much, and so I kind of wish they did, because of him literally raising Bruce for the majority of his life, you know, once, you know, his parents are gone. So we really don't dive into that too much. But I think since it's more of a kid's show, that we're not going to dive into some of the heavier aspects of their relationship and their dynamic. But I wish they would have done that more of that. Another thing as well is that, I actually lost the train of thought there for a second. I had it in my thought. I had it in my head, because I was thinking like Alfred, and I'm trying to think like, what was I? Well, I do wish more villains were more present, because we got a lot of Joker in this, which is fine because the version of Joker in here is fucking bonkers, but I kind of wish we had more of different villains, or maybe just like more appearances from certain ones, because I mean, I think Mr. Freeze, this adaptation of Mr. Freeze in the show is great. He doesn't appear much, and maybe that's the beauty of some of these villains, that they don't appear often. You know, they appear enough, but not to the point of where it's too much, it's ridiculous, you know. I know there were some villains, people are commenting saying some certain villains were off limits due to character rights or whatever. I'm not really sure what that entails. But I kind of wish we would have seen more, but I get it. If there's certain characters that literally are not allowed to be used, that's unfortunate. We did see a lot of Catwoman. Catwoman, I wish we would have seen more of Catwoman in this show. We do see her a bit, but, you know, I get it. Because storylines, like, you got to think of, like, all aspects of storylines in terms of, okay, so we can use this person again and again and again, because they use Joker quite a bit, but we can use this character instead, but we got to find a story for it. Because for Joker's just over the top and ridiculous and crazy, that you can really just write anything, and it will make sense, because Joker, would, of course, would do it, because Joker's crazy. But in terms of, like, okay, let's write a Riddler storyline, which they did some pretty good Riddler stuff, but, you know, you got to really think outside of the box, because at a certain point, you don't want to become repetitive with certain villains. So maybe that's why certain villains didn't appear more than they did, because at a certain point, they've already kind of covered some of the major stuff that they could be capable of doing to Gotham. You know, Gotham was constantly a threat. Yeah, it's been a crazy journey. It really has. It's kind of hard to say goodbye to shows, because it's the norm. It's kind of my routine to kind of go through these shows and watch them each week. So it's kind of crazy to go, okay, now it's over. It's kind of crazy to say that, you know, it's like, now it's done. And so I'm curious to see what show, because I'm actually filming this early, so I don't know what show has actually won the poll that's replacing the Batman, but we'll see what happens with that. But I do want to thank you guys again for the support and watching the videos, and, you know, just being there and just commenting your thoughts, because it really helped me see that there was a love for this show early on, because, like, you guys were supporting the videos heavily early on. They're getting a lot more attention, of course, towards the end, but I think that's because every show you start, you get a lot more people up front watching the videos. But to kind of see you guys going, I can't wait for you to get to this, and this, and seeing this episode, and this, like, it's like, it was really cool to see your passion for this show from somebody who really was kind of being pushed off about, like, I don't know, you know, like, I'm glad that I embraced it. I'm glad that I allowed it to tell its story and everything, and for me to embrace how it is different. It is similar in aspects, but how it's also different. I think the voice cast did phenomenal in this show in terms of Bruce, Alfred, Robin, Batgirl, all the villains. It all did a fantastic job, and I really felt, you know, that they were giving a really great performance with these characters and really making it feel as authentic as it can. The movie as well, Batman vs. Dracula, of course, was freaking awesome. It was a great film, and I think there was people saying that there was plans for a another film, but with I guess the Batman versus Dracula film did not perform well, so they did not go ahead with another one. I'm curious to see if there was any plans, like what was the plan for another film if they were to do one. I'm curious what that would have been. But I do appreciate you guys for voting for this thing. I decided to pick it because it was the second most voted show when the poll came out, when it was Ben 10 and Ben 10 won. The Batman was like pretty much behind it the whole time. So I knew that there was a strong base of people that really wanted me to cover this show. So I'm glad that I did, because it's been an incredible journey. 5 seasons at a film. It's crazy. So anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over again. This show was an incredible journey. It was fun. It was exciting. There was some craziness, some weirdness, but I had a great time with it. I really did. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey. I hope you did. I'm curious to know what you guys thought about the Batman overall, the film, of course, this 2-parter here, the Justice League, villains, whatever your thoughts about the show in its entirety, and of course this episode as well. Please let me know in the comments below. It was fun to see the Justice League form and actually fight, because we really didn't get to see that. We got to see individual arcs with these characters in season 5, but now to see them all working together and being the Justice League, I think it was a cool way to end off, because the show had basically evolved from season 4 to season 5 in terms of the Justice League members. It's now, we're focused more on more aspects of this continuity, this Earth, than just Gotham. So that was pretty cool to see. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for supporting the journey. I can't wait to see what's next in terms of what show, because I don't know what it is. But anyways, talk to you guys soon. Peace out.